Well, only 2 more days until college game day. Uh, ready for some college football. Got Thursday and Friday, and then bam, it's Saturday. I'm not sure where college game day is coming from, but I do know where Vanderbilt is heading, and they're heading to Missouri to face the Tigers. Now, I just watched Coach Franklin's media press conference kind of thing. They asked him some questions on the field. 8.5 minutes long. YouTube.com/VU Commodores. I just watched that. It was after their practice today. And here are some things they had to say. Just a real quick video. Said that Jordan Rogers is looking like he's going to start. He said so far so good in practice, and he's planning on getting the start. I see him getting the start against Missouri. I don't see why not. I don't really see Carter Samuels taking that spot. Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, they asked him once again. So is that a definite? Jordan Rogers is going to be the starting quarterback against Missouri and for that environment. And he said, so far so good. So it's indicating so far that Jordan Rogers will be starting for the Commodores. So I believe that's a good thing. Uh, Hopefully he can lead us to our second victory of the season. He also mentioned that they're shaking things up. Ever since the Georgia game, they've kind of been tweaking things up. Head coach James Franklin said. He said that they're going to do a 2-for-1 deal. I think he said that they did a 3-for-1, caused false starts or caused some problems, especially against Georgia. But they've been tweaking things ever since Georgia during that bye week and all that. They said instead of doing a 3-for-1 deal, they're doing 2-for-1, where Zach Stacy, their main running back, goes for 2 series, and then they take him out and put somebody else in instead of a 3-for-1 deal, where Zach would, I believe, go 3 series and put somebody else in. So I think that means Zach is getting a little bit more rest, and they also talked about how it may not be a 2-for-1 deal, where they're just going to put Zach in and let him stay until he needs to go out. I mean, if it's not a 2-for-1 deal, then they're going to let him stay in until he absolutely needs to come out. So it's kind of weird. They're tweaking things. I'm not really getting where Vanderbilt's going with their running game, but I do like how they're tweaking things because obviously not much worked against Georgia. I mean, it's Georgia. They've got a stellar defense, except against Tennessee they didn't, but got a great team, and I'm liking how we're tweaking things. I just hope we can. I'm not sure if we're going to do a 2-for-1 deal where Zach Stacy goes for 2 series and then they put another running back in for 1 series and then Zach goes for two or not. And then, uh, and I'm not. And then again, I'm not sure if they're going to let Zach Stacy stay in until he needs to go out or not. That's something I didn't quite understand. But it's one or the other or both. Who knows? Either way, they're tweaking things, and I'm expecting to see a better running game and less false starts from the Commodores. Also, one last thing notable that he said. They're playing with crowd noise and band music in the background at their practices. Not really much changing on that. I think they've always done that. And he seems ready. They seem ready to face the Missouri crowd. And yep, they've tweaked a lot of things since Georgia. So, like I said, Georgia crowd. I think that affected us. But now he's getting his guys more ready than ever to take on that Missouri crowd. Also, one thing I learned about Barrett Field or Farragut Field or whatever where Missouri plays, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called. Excuse me for mispronouncing it if I did, but at the I think north side of the end zone, maybe south side, I don't know. I think it's north side of the end zone. If you see that white M, it's actually made of whitewashed rocks. So when you see it on TV, that M is made of whitewashed rocks, and it's been there since like early 1900s, 1902, I think I read. But that's a pretty cool thing they got going there, and it's cool how it's still there over a century later. But that's just something I wanted to say, just a random fact I heard about Missouri when I was reading through the internet. But yeah, Jordan Rogers, so far so good in practice, looking like he's going to get the start. No surprise there to me. Ever since the Georgia game, I thought they'd still start him anyway. Although it was a disappointing performance by him, but it was a disappointing performance by everybody for the Commodores, for my Commodores. And they're tweaking things up with the running, defense. Looks like they're going to let Zach stay in until he needs to go out, or do a 2-for-1 deal where Zach goes 2 series and they put somebody else in there. So if they're coming up with a new idea, then this should definitely stop those false starts. And they're ready to face the Mizzou crowd. It was a ruckus against Georgia, and They seem to be ready to face the Missouri crowd and more confident to face the Missouri crowd um, than they did against Georgia. So I believe they'll do better with the crowd factor than they did against Georgia. So that's about it. And they tweaked a lot of things since Georgia, is what Coach James Franklin said. Go Dores. Hashtag anchor down. Hashtag go Dores. Cannot wait till Saturday. Go Commodores. Get that second win and turn this season around. Anchor down. Bring it on, Missouri.